curling fans, and welcome to draw number 11 here at the AMJ Players Championship, our 5th event this season on the Grand Slam of curling. A couple quick announcements before.
Stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance.
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line. It's a gold line.
it's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
Final stone. Does he have it? Yes, he does! What a shot! John Schuster! Oh my goodness! A third of a rock for... That would make sense when I did curl.
Well, we gotta not kill that. It's gotta just be in the catch zone.
I mean, my gut is like hack to board and just roll 3 feet. 2 feet.
Yeah? Yeah, I think it's probably just hack.
You're always touching the 6.
I don't know that this leaves the 4-foot with hack.
Really good spots for Miller.
I think John's in a situation where he needs to send one of the red guards back.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, and it's dead nose and just, it's gonna go spinning. This actually might catch two and just leak back.
I think it does.
Okay, so it might, close to dead.
Hammer something.
Extra focus of the players, because sometimes you just couldn't hear yourself thinking, and we needed to like use signs and show what we meant instead of just shouting out a number or like play this hit and roll kind of thing. We had to show everything, so that added another level, I guess, to our game. After that, we've been a little better when the crowd is loud or when you can't hear as well.
Johnson on this one here.
Can't hear yet for line ever.
No, they like line. Now does it have the speed? They like the line. Does it have the speed? They're going hard for line. You have to get by this top yellow. Trevor Johnson leaning on it. He's by it. Now does it stop in time? Has to stop in time. What a shot from Ryland Kleider. We thought it was maybe the hardest option up from the booth, but that's why we're not down there.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
and when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance.
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
it's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
Welcome to draw number 11 here at the AMJ Players Championship. We have the best curlers in the world under one roof, so let's meet the teams competing in draw 11, starting on sheet B. First up, throwing the Yellow Rocks, coming in with a record of 2-1, curling out of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, Team Home. And their opponents throwing the Red Rocks, coming in with a record of 2-1 from Gimli, Manitoba, Canada, Team Anderson. And on sheet D, first up, throwing the Red Rocks, coming in with a record of 0-3 from Trentino, Italy, Team Ritornes. And their opponents throwing the Yellow Rocks, coming in with a 3-0 record, curling out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, Team Epic. And here to announce the other two games, please welcome the president of the Korean Canadian Curling Federation, Mr. Melvin Lee.
안녕하세요 여러분. 시트에서 빨간색 스톤을 던지는 0승 3패 기록 주력에서 팀 슈왈러. 그리고 노란색 스톤을 던지는 2승 0패 강릉시청 팀 김. 우리 KC 쪽에서는 빨간색 스톤을 죄송합니다. 노란색 스톤을 던지는 0승 3패 기록 경기도청 김기. 또 빨간색 스톤을 던지는 2승 1패 춘천시청 김하.
Please no flash photography. Good luck to all and good curling.
Annyeong, curling fans, and welcome to Korea Day here at the AMJ Players Championship live from the Mattamy Athletic Center here in Toronto, Ontario. It is Draw 10 action. Team Eunjung Kim facing off against Team Xenia Schwaller. John Cullen on the call alongside two-time Scotties champion Chelsea Carey. And Chelsea, festive atmosphere in the building here tonight. A lot of Korean fans in the building. We've got Gim versus Ha. That's free live on YouTube. We've got Team Kim playing on our sheet. Always love when there's a little extra buzz in the building.
Yeah, the atmosphere is awesome. Even the intros, they had one of the Korean coaches do the intros, and that's just so cool. We've seen them rise to be quite the powerhouse in curling, and then the women's worlds, of course, just happening in Uijeongbu, Korea as well. So love to see that. Very cool start to the evening here.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game here between these two teams. For Schwaller, they're sitting at 0-3. We'll get a look at their lineup. From Zurich, Switzerland, skip is Xenia Schwaller. Third is Selena Goffner. Second is Fabian Rieder. And lead is Selena Riekiger. And on the other side of the sheet, Team Gim from Gangneung, South Korea. The skip is Eunjung Kim. Third is Kyung-ae Kim. Second is Cho-e Kim. And lead is Sun-young Kim. Kim coming into this game undefeated at 2-0. Xenia Schwaller on the opposite side of things. For them, truly a must-win game. Probably at 3 losses, they're already out. But you never know. 2-3 sometimes does manage to sneak in, but definitely a must-win game for them. And for Team Kim on the other side of the sheet, looking to get that all-important third win that probably gets you into at least a tiebreaker conversation.
Yeah, definitely coming in from opposite sides of the spectrum. So we have not seen the best of Team Xenia Schwaller. We know how talented they are. We just haven't really seen it yet this week. The ice is a little bit tricky, but it's really basically been the team that figures it out better is the team that wins, and so we're seeing those teams that are winless really be struggling with the paths and kind of some of the intricacies of this ice. So for Team Schwaller, going to have to try to get that figured out. And yeah, for Team Kim, doesn't guarantee you anything necessarily, but 3 wins, and then you just, as long as you win 1 of your last 2, you would definitely be guaranteed that playoff spot. So big game for them.
Yeah, they have their 2-game day tomorrow, every team here at the Players, playing 5 games as opposed to the usual 4 that we see in the other slams throughout the season. Pardon me, as only 12 teams get in here, 2 pools of 6, so you play all of the other 5 teams in your pool, as Selena Riekiger hits that one right on the beak and leaves it, I think, out of the house.
It looks like it from the overhead.
웨이트 5가지.
And so, yeah, for Kim, this is game 3 for them, and then they'll have their 2-game day tomorrow. This is Xenia Schwaller's 2-game day here, as they're now at 0-3 and playing their 4th game. Yeah, the Schwaller team has been kind of strange, Chelsea. They haven't really had a great run at a slam yet this year. They've been in all 5 of them. Haven't really done super well. They haven't made the playoffs at any of them. But every non-slam event they've been in, they seem to win. They've won 4 times on tour this year. And they're playing, it's not like they're going in smaller events with really, you know, way lower ranked teams. They won Swift Current, which had a really good field. They also won in Perth, which had a great field, and they came 2nd at the Oslo Cup, which had a great field. So I don't know what it is for them. It just seems maybe the slams, they haven't quite found their way into playing well at the slams. Is that a thing? Is that a thing that teams kind of go through when they're early in their careers, like Team Schwaller is?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a thing for a number of reasons. One is that the ice conditions are a lot different at a slam than they are in a curling club. So even if your field is really good, the ice is going to definitely be likely a little bit straighter, probably not as tracky and patchy with a change in crowd and airflow and everything that comes into playing in an arena. The other thing is that even if in a strong field event in a curling club, like a World Curling Tour event, there are a few games that are going to be easier. You're going to have at least 1 or 2 teams that are sort of local teams that are pretty good, but they're like more a B-level team. That just does not exist at a Grand Slam event. So some of that is just playing high-quality teams, and some of it is also you just psych yourself out a little bit when you look at the draw and go, holy smokes, like I can't believe this is the lineup of people I have to play.
Yeah.
And that can take a while to figure out.
For sure, and I think it's a good point about playing in clubs too. They're the defending world junior champion, so they're soon to lose their title. They've aged out of juniors now, and the juniors are just about to happen in Cortina, Italy. Warming up the Olympic venue for next year are the teams at the juniors this year, and we send our best out to Team McNutt and Team Whip representing Team Canada in Cortina. But yeah, won the World Juniors last year, and as you know, in juniors, you don't play on arena ice very often in juniors, so this is really their first season with regular games on arena ice, and I think you make a great point of them just trying to get adjusted to it, as that's a really nice come around there from Choi Kim. Kim starting with the hammer here. And trying to run this one back, but that is not really even close.
Yeah, I don't know why. You didn't need to throw that hard. That was a really big stab, arm extension, and it just wasn't necessary. It's a single rock run back. I don't know why she tried to throw it so hard, but it didn't work.
A little unfortunate there for Fabian Reeder, so it is still Kim lying the one here. Just a little deep, I think, for Choi Kim. They were trying to guard, I think. But it is Kim lying 1-3-4 right now.
Yeah, still a little bit scary for Team Schwaller here.
schau es nicht, ich wollte ihn einfach sicher killen. So 보이진 않았어. 그냥 딱.
Selena Goffner getting ready to throw the double here. You'll see Selena Goffner throw the third stones, but then she sweeps along with Selena Riekiger, and you'll see Fabian Rieder in the house for Xenia's shots. The sort of the female version of the Italian Twin Towers are Goffner and Riekiger, both over 6 feet tall, and that is an unfortunate miss there for Goffner. But yeah, both over 6 feet tall, great sweepers. They really get the most out of Xenia's rocks. One sweep of the week in St. John's, did the two of them, and yeah, they're a very formidable sweeping duo. Couldn't help that one, though.
No, needed more help than that on that one. That's really, really unfortunate. This is huge trouble right off the hop here for Team Schwaller.
Well, in the end, started very innocently. The first rock actually ended up in the house.
Right.
Sort of looked like maybe we were going to trade, you know, just trade hits, maybe get a bit of a blank situation here. And now all of a sudden, this is a shot for Kyung-Hae Kim where her team could lie 4.
This one is over curling too, though. Is it going to catch the back?
It catches one of the back stones, but not both. So Team Kim lying 3 with the hammer here early on.
Could make this double and get your shooter spinning through the hole back towards that back 4-foot one would be a great result. But I think just make sure you make 2 go away here. If you were to give up a deuce after how this was looking, you'd have to be pretty happy with that for Xenia Schwaller.
So another double opportunity here for Selena Goffner. Looked like she poked this one a bit wide too. Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
That's worst case scenario. Not only do you not get the double, but you poke that Yellowstone out into the 12-foot. So now there's going to be maximum separation here for Eunjung Kim. Not super sharp early here is the team from the Grasshopper Curling Club in Zurich.
One of my favorite names for a curling club ever, though.
Kyung-Hae Kim just looking to draw this one into the 12-foot, get all 3 of these yellows separated. Speaking of good sweeping pairs, this pair of Choi and Sun Young Kim are also fantastic sweepers.
Yeah, a lot of the Asian teams, it's amazing because they're so little.
Yeah.
And, like Fujisawa is a great example. They're so tiny, but they do it rather than with pressure, they do it with brush head speed. And it's that incredibly fast motion, and they just seem to never get tired. By the time they've come down the ice, they've taken like 200 strokes. It's wild to watch.
Yeah.
They just they get that, and there's 2 ways to do it. One is with pressure, and the other is with speed. And all of the Asian teams of both genders really are very, very good at the speed piece.
So I'm guessing this is maybe a double attempt here, Chelsea, or at least a hit and roll into the 4-foot in front of that yellow.
Yeah, the double is really thin.
Yeah,
you
really
bring in
thin.
the flash into play. I think you probably just try to roll it and hope you have a double on your next one, is my guess.
Yeah, that was my thought as well. My Swiss German, not very good, even though we did call Yannick Schwaller's game earlier. I didn't learn much.
No, I learned hard for peace. That's about all I got.
It's really because the German word for peace just sounds like peace.
Yeah.
I think is really mostly what we figured out. So it is the hit and roll. This is maybe going to go a little too far. You'd love for it to hang around for second shot.
Almost.
Okay,
Oh,
I think it is second. Yeah. So that's actually not a terrible place for that to roll. It's not an easy chase for Eunjung here. I talked about it earlier this week, but had a chance to sit down for a Korean lunch with Eunjung Kim and Anna Hasselborg. That feature is now live on the Grand Slam of Curling YouTube page. It was Eunjung's first ever English interview, and she was great. It was really nice to get to know her a little bit more. I've been watching her curl now for feels like 10 years. Didn't really know much about her because of the language barrier, but yeah, very, very, very nice person. Learned a lot about her and her son and curling in Korea, and yeah, it was a really great chat. So it looks like maybe freezing here, Chelsea, or maybe just like a freeze tap?
I think a freeze tap. You want to sit 3, but I don't think you really want to kill it. So they talked about, like, even if you just froze on it, it would be okay, but you'd love to move it. You only got to tap it a couple inches.
So first rock here for Eunjung Kim, first end. Trying to set herself up to put a crooked number on the board. Choi Kim really trying to bring this over here. This is not moving at all.
It's almost falling, actually.
Wow.
She might have moved it far enough. I'm not sure.
It's hard to tell. I don't know. If she didn't move it far enough, that's going to feel like a huge missed opportunity for Team Kim.
Yeah, that was, if they were playing the freeze tap like we think, that was a lot too much weight.
Yes, for sure.
It was almost hack by the time it got down there. So, and it is straight to the wings. We've seen that consistently on all the sheets, with the exception of maybe the end sheet that curls to one wing because the whole sheet is slanted. So we have consistently seen B and C especially not curl very much to that wing. So not surprising in that sense, but I think heavy more the issue. If that had 3 or 4 feet less weight, it would have got all the way over to that stone and they wouldn't have had a problem.
Last rock here for Xenia Schwaller.
Loves trucks.
Wanting to get max separation. That's a perfect roll.
So that tells me that they think that they are still second shot. And it looks like
Kim agrees.
Kim agrees.
Because they're drawing here instead of hitting.
That is a force out of nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely nowhere. Yeah, you thought for sure they were getting at least 2 here. Really, the only question was, are they getting 2 or 3?
Yeah, pretty much.
And yeah, just kind of a really nice roll on Xenia's first one. Went to almost the perfect spot. Eunjung missed her first one, and now it's a draw to the 8-foot for her single. Needs full 8-foot here, does Eunjung Kim. Choi and Sun Young starting to pick it up now. This is losing some weight here as it curls more, but has just enough. So one will go on the board for the Koreans. We'll get a look at the Swiss team with hammer when we come back.
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatoon in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbeck coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock.
But that's got to feel like a missed opportunity for Eunjung Kim. Got a couple misses out of Selena Goffner and Fabian Reeder, but unable to put them on the board. They get forced to 1.
Yeah, they definitely are feeling like they got their pocket picked right now. It looks like it was going to be at least 2, maybe even 3. And then pretty good, if a little bit lucky roll by Xenia Schwaller to stop just for second shot buried. And then just heavy for Eunjung Kim on her last. Went by everything and didn't touch it far enough. And so then a nice hit and roll by Selena on her last. And all of a sudden it's a force that they didn't really earn other than they got a miss and took advantage of it. But that's what you have to do in these situations. And that is what they've struggled with. So good start for Xenia Schwaller.
Okay. Gut. Okay. Gut.
So draw around the center guard for Selena Riekager. Reminder, we do have 4 games going on here, and all 4 games with commentary if you have Sportsnet in Canada. As we said, it's Korean night here. Eunji Kim and Sung Young Ha are facing off. Min Lee on Korean commentary. That's available on the Grand Slam of Curling YouTube page. So if you speak Korean, or even if you don't, that one is available for you. If you're in Canada, you can watch. I mean, you can watch it on Home Team Network as well, but if you want it with commentary and all the bells and whistles, the Sportsnet feature game tonight is an all-Canadian battle, a rematch of the Scotties final, Carrie Anerson against Rachel Homan. And then our faithful colleague Tyler George going free solo mode tonight on the final game out here. It's Joel Retornaz against John Epping. John Epping looking to get his 4th win and lock up a playoff spot. He'd be the first team to confirm a playoff spot here at the Players on the men's side. So big game for his team. So it looks like we're seeing an open side draw here, Chels.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not. I shouldn't be terribly surprised. One of the things when you're struggling, which we have seen Xenia Schwaller do this week, is just to try to keep it a little bit simpler. Don't race everything to the forefoot and put yourself in trouble having to make all kinds of tough shots. That being said, that is not where they would have wanted that one. That's a little bit short and is not second shot and probably leaves a double.
Yeah, just a little underthrown there by Riekager.
얇은 반에서 2건 4분의 1까지. 얇은 반. Ja, gjerne et døyfreklameringen, så ikke høyhet til doppel. Ja.
Cho Kim with the double try here. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it doesn't make the double, but is just as good, really, in a lot of ways as making it. Leaves that Redstone in a very vulnerable position. Xenia knows it, so she's going to run up and peel this guard off.
Talked about this Xenia Schwaller team being the World Junior Champ. This Eunjung Kim team, it's been a while for them at the Worlds. Their last Korean championship was in 2021. So they went to the Worlds in 2022, but they did win silver there, lost that final to Silvana Tiranzoni. But as we know, the rise of the Korean program is here. 3 Korean teams in this event. Bobae Kang not too far behind as well. So we could very easily see next year at the Slams 4 South Korean women's teams in the event, and their Olympic trials are coming up in June. Eunjung was telling me about that too. And that's going to be very hotly contested.
No doubt. You joked about feeling like you've been watching Eunjung Kim for 10 years. You probably have. She was at My Worlds in 2016 as well. So I've been playing against her for 10 years too.
Her first Korean women's title was in 2012. So
there you go.
So they moved that far enough to lie 3 after Fabienne Rieder peeled the guard.
Those 2 are staggered. If you wanted to try to set up your 2, you could play a hit and roll or a draw around those top 2 yellows, but it looks like they're going to stay on the defensive here and make sure that they keep the blank alive for now and, if nothing else, have a makeable shot for a single.
Oof, unfortunate again for Rieder, just a little bit wide.
Yeah, if that clipped the second yellow, it might have got all 3, but as it stands, worked out quite poorly punching that through the hole and sort of spreading out the rocks for Team Kim again, which we saw last end as well.
Yeah, I think the point you made last end was well made. Just looks like she's getting a little bit with the extension, just getting a hair wide, and yeah, this ice not forgiving to that, that's for sure.
Not with that much weight. You can afford to do that on a draw, but with they throw so much rotation, and it's a little bit stabby. So if you're not dead on the broom with the way that comes out of your hand, then it's never coming back with that rotation with a little bit of set. So it just ends up being really unforgiving with anything above a control hit weight.
Trying for this double here, and why not? Why not make it for fun? Very nice from Kyung-Ae Kim, and Team Kim lying 3 once again, starting to sound like a broken record over here. Not a ton of great options here for Schwaller either to try and generate 2.
No, the option that you had was when those 2 were staggered and they didn't play it. Then now if you roll behind that yellow, which I think was the first thing she indicated, it's just such a short run back, but it will only likely be to sit 2. I don't know that you can roll the shooter in, so I guess that's the good news, but there isn't really anywhere else good to roll to. She's throwing this hard again. Maybe she's playing the double.
Yeah, it looks like that is the call, and it is made by Selena Goffner. Very nice.
Jetzt haben wir nachher nochmal einen Doppel. Gut.
So just an open hit here for Kyung-Ae Kim. Would love to stick around to keep the force alive.
기다려. 빈. 트윈 아니야. 기다려. 클린만. 와줘.
Just like that. Double might be there.
It's there. Certainly know she can throw it hard enough to make it.
No question about that.
That rotation is definitely helpful on this kind of a shot too, and they do throw a lot of it.
So we'll see if Goffner can make another double here and get her team out of this. Just got that one a little tight, and that doesn't even get in the rings.
그냥 컵을 하기에는 여기 보이게? 그러고 난 위에 그냥 올리는 거까지. 안 보이는 게 좋을 것 같아.
You don't love going around a tight corner guard that isn't your color when you don't have the hammer, but I don't know what else you do. This is kind of the only way to split the house. So the key here is to stay somewhere close to level with that other Yellowstone. If you slide any deeper than that, then you might leave a double and sit buried for Xenia.
Yeah, positioning will be important here for Eunjung Kim. We saw her come a little bit heavy last end on her draw attempt. See if she can clean that up here. It's her first stone, second end.
근데 내 탓은 웨이트 먼저.
Sie haben so viele Halbshots.
라인은 넉넉해. 웨이트 5.
Choi and Sun Young on this. Don't want to go too deep here.
5. 컬 와야 돼 진짜로. 와야 돼.
Not amazing.
That's expert analysis right there.
Well, at first I kind of thought maybe it was okay, and then I had a look at the overhead and went, "Ooh, that double's pretty easy."
Yeah, well, the weight wasn't far off. It just didn't curl. Again, that wing being really straight. So if that is over to the left-hand side as we look at it here, another foot or two and buried, then they would be even enough that I don't think the double would be there. But because it didn't curl, it kind of hung out there, and now the double is definitely a possibility. And if you hit this right, you could get your shooter spinning up behind that corner guard as well.
halbe. Ja, dünn halb.
Xenia Schwaller, like the rest of her team, can throw the big weight. Heavy and accurate, so this double definitely on the table for her here.
Oh, it looked like she got that going a little bit.
It's close. Does it have enough to move that yellow? No, it will not.
But that's a little like her first shot in the first end. She got away with it. It worked out as good or even potentially better. So definitely getting some breaks here early for Team Schwaller. That wasn't her best throw. She just, you could tell on release even from our camera angle that she just steered that a little bit in towards the broom.
Yeah, ends up dead corner frozen here. So what do you do here if you're Eunjung Kim?
I mean, either what she just indicated was draw around everything. You could go to the wing as well and sit two that way, but the problem is you might leave it some kind of double for two, or you could just kill both of those rocks and try to roll your shooter behind the corner guard and hope that you get away with it that way. I think I would be looking at a draw. If you come, because those are staggered, if you come around this, there shouldn't be a way to chase it. This could turn into a steal pretty quickly.
Yeah, really, I guess the key is just to be anywhere second shot that doesn't set up a potential double or like a kickoff her own for Xenia.
Yeah, you don't want to miss this on the light side. Even if you're back 8 and second shot, you're okay. Obviously, in a perfect world, you'd be full top button, but if you're higher, that's where you potentially bring in a double into play. As long as you're deeper, I don't think there will be any double.
Final stone for Eunjung Kim. Looking to lie to somewhere to force Xenia Schwaller. Sweepers on this right away. Can't afford to be light here.
This looks light.
This looks way light. Could you get lucky and guard it, maybe?
Yeah, they're trying to curl it now to get the guard, but I don't know that it's going to get over enough.
Oh, that might have worked
I think that's okay.
Oh. Oh boy, I'd be scared to play this. You ever peel out your own red, you can give up a steal of 2.
Yeah, I don't think I would be playing that. I think what you could do is try to hit the yellow just a hair high and hope you rolled your shooter in that way.
Yeah.
Make the run, make sure you get 1. I would not be throwing this corner guard run. This is gutsy.
This is scary town. Maybe just one of those calls, Chelsea, you feel like our week hasn't been going well. Maybe this is a way to turn something around here.
I just think it's the harder way to get 2 even. Like, to me, that where that rolled to, I think if you hit that just a little bit on the guard side, the non-center line side, with the kind of weight that Xenia Schwaller can throw, you probably spin your shooter in, and even if you don't, like, you're only 1 down right now. It's not even a disaster as long as you score. So this way you could give up a steal of 2. I mean, if she makes it, she'll look very smart, but this would not be my call if it was me.
More importantly, we will look stupid.
Yeah, yes. Wouldn't be the first time.
No, that's
probably
sure.
Won't be the last
time. If I ever got worried about looking stupid, I wouldn't be able to leave my bedroom every morning. Does look like Xenia maybe changing her mind from the hack a little bit. I mean, you really just can't see a ton of that yellow.
No,
to play this angle in, you're almost more likely to hit your red.
Well, and even if you hit the yellow, can you stick it?
Yeah.
It's just that's a really hard shot, and I don't think the upside is that good.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. Bobby and Reed are maybe trying to be the voice of reason and saying we could also draw, you know.
Take your single.
Xenia not interested, so she is going to try this. It would be phenomenal if she makes it, but potential disaster if she doesn't. Final stone. Sounds close. Goffner trying to hold it now. Goffner trying to hold it now. Oh, great try. Didn't miss it by much, but just gives it a little kiss towards the button, and that will be a steal of 1 for Eunjung Kim. Schwaller will keep the hammer into the end, into the third end.
Every day you go new places. A small change in how you do things, or moving your things to a whole new town, or many things to many towns all at once. No matter how small the move, it can be a big leap from where you are now. You've got it in you to go new places. So do we. We go there every day. We're here to help you move to places on the map, in the mind, in the heart, or all three.
Go new places with AMJ Campbell. Contact us at 888-AMJ-MOVE or amjcampbell.com.
Das ist absolut.
So it's been a tough go here for Xenia Schwaller in this event and in this game. Had an opportunity for 2, was not easy. Gave it a good try, but in the end, Kim steals 1. They lead 2-0.
웨이트 반전. 아니면 셋 와야 되는데. 넷. 일단 와.
I do think that's another piece in talking about what is taking Team Schwaller a little bit of time to get to be successful at the Grand Slams. I think that they still have some learning to do about the strategy piece. Most of the calls are fine, but I occasionally see them call something that doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and that's often just an experience thing. You need to go through those games and play those shots and either make them and get burned by it or miss them and get burned by it, and then you just learn by sort of trial by fire. And I think that they're still trying to figure that part out a little bit too. That call didn't make a lot of sense to me. There was if you were going to try to get your 2, I think you could have done it by throwing it hard at that yellow in the top and trying to spin your shooter in, but at least then you're probably getting 1 no matter what. You're going to make contact with those back rocks. That was a high-risk shot. She threw it quiet because she knew the risk of picking her own rock, but even if she'd hit it with how dead we've seen these houses be, I'm not sure that yellow goes far enough anyway. So
yeah, I agree.
I think that's just, if I was on their bench, I would have been standing up and waving my arms to get them to call a timeout on that one. You've got all the talent shot-making wise, but the strategy is a huge piece of it, especially against these top teams.
Yeah. Actually been on the call for a lot of Xenia Schwaller games this year. I don't know if that was a personal request from the team. That's what I'm choosing to believe, that they just love hearing the sound of my voice on their games so often. But yeah, I think I've probably called more Xenia Schwaller games than anyone else on the planet this season, and I totally agree with you, Chelsea. That does seem like a little bit of their issue, but that's to be expected, right? They're 22 years old, and you really don't see full teams of 22-year-olds make slams. Like, it just doesn't happen. You might see a younger team with an older skip, or maybe one younger player on an older team. But for an entire team that was just in juniors last year to be in the slams, and all 5 of them, they weren't in and out of the slams. They were in every slam this year. I think it's important to recognize that that's a great feat. But to your point, yes, I think especially against the teams who have really great strategists at the tee head, it's noticeable the gap in how, even if their shot making is great, they can let themselves down sometimes with the shot calling. But I do also have full faith that will come.
Oh, it will, for sure. I agree with that. I would like to see them get borrow Glenn Howard or somebody like that for a couple games. They would do well with a coach that has been there and done that from a strategy perspective.
How about you?
Yeah, me, I'd do it.
Swiss Curling, if you're listening. Claudio, get Chelsea on the phone. How's your German, though?
Oh, not good.
You need some work.
That's going to be a problem for sure.
Yeah, they do all speak English, so I think you're safe. So ignoring the two yellows in the house here, drawing around their corner guard, this doesn't look like it's going to get buried here for Fabienne Rieder.
It's almost falling back. We've seen it be straight to the wings. This might be even the straightest. It looks like as it's coming into the house, it's fading backwards from that guard. At some point, you're going to have to throw the guard tighter to the center line and go around the wide way because it just seems like you can't get buried from the inside out.
Well, and that's that turn we saw Unjung miss.
Yes,
and
exactly.
she was a little heavy, but even still, it seemed like once it got over the hog line, it was almost like it didn't have a chance. You could see that it was going to miss.
100%. Well, but the other wing coming this way in the second end, we saw the same thing happen where like the weight was close for Team Kim and it just didn't curl. So I think they're going to have to get a little creative with the setups here to try to get the multiple point scores. When you can't use a traditional corner guard, you got to do something different. Either throw it tight and tap it, or throw it closer to the center line and come around it wide.
And again, we're seeing it here. Choi Kim really trying to lean on this, or sorry, Kyung-ae Kim really trying to lean on this for Cho-hee. And that, I think, does stick on the rings in the back, and their shooter rolls out. So, yeah, just a really tough track to make shots on right now, Chelsea.
Yeah, and sometimes the other thing, too, is that it tends to be sort of the way your mind wants to think about it is that if a spot is really straight, I should throw less weight. And generally that's true. But when it's falling backwards, sometimes it's better to throw it hard. You throw it through the fall a little bit. The longer it has to go down the sheet, the more it's going to fall. In the same way, the more it'll curl in another spot. So I would like to see Team Kim on that shot take really tight ice and throw peel,
right?
And not give that rock time to fall back.
Riekiger employing the little Swiss hop. Bringing that one over. Doesn't curl underneath that yellow stone. Here's Schwaller lying shot here. Lying first and third. But again, not a super great setup for two here. This is really curling. Have to make sure this yellow sticks. And a good sweep there from Sun Young Kim. Double might be there, but it's pretty tough.
It's there. It might also jam, though. You have to be a little bit careful about that red, so I don't think worth taking it on yet. Just roll over here and group them, and then you might have a double later.
So hit right on the nose. And again, you could see Unjung just trying to figure out where to roll this one so they don't set up a double. With that red one just hanging on at the back. Have to be careful.
Also dann müssten wir einfach so über, dass nur halb versteckt ist. Die Seite macht sie. Ja, wow. Sie sind nicht 10 so 10-8 gespielt. Sie sind eher so 10-1.
이제 됐어. 일세. 아니야 선이야 기다려. 잠깐만. 됐어.
Well, you could chase the double now, I think, if you wanted.
You could, but I would worry a little bit about how dead the house is. You could also push it in behind that guard pretty easily.
True.
But it is quite flat again. There's not many women's teams in the world better equipped to make it than Team Schwaller with how much weight they can throw, but I still don't know that it's worth it.
They agree with you as they're calling a hit and roll behind the guard for Selena Goffner. And can they get it buried? Oh, that spin back was looking pretty close to getting buried, but spins back towards the middle. I think this will be wide open for Unjung Kim.
So we'll have to be careful based on what we've seen, though. This is that spot.
For sure.
12.
one of those ones where it's actually maybe a little more buried than it appears because it's on such a tough track.
Yeah, wide open isn't wide open when the rock's going to fall back a couple inches. All of a sudden, it's like it's half buried.
So we'll see if Team Kim makes the adjustment here. This looks like quite a bit of ice.
Oh, that's so much ice.
Maybe they're figuring that little wider path might actually curl more.
Maybe.
I don't know, but that does look like a lot of ice from up here in the booth. First stone here for Eunjung Kim. Third end.
It was a pretty soft release, so she knows she couldn't afford to set it.
This is flirting with the guard. That's lovely.
Really well done.
Shot was tougher than it looked, as we said, with that path. And yeah, maybe just that softer release and maybe that little wider line. They just kind of avoided getting on that track.
And I do think sometimes there's something to be said for when ice is like that, take more ice and try to throw it soft. Try to hook it a little bit, because when you're throwing it pure, you're not getting any movement at all. But if you throw it soft and it's successful, it is really going to go. So it looks to me like that's what they called. That was a ton of ice, but the way she almost slid a little bit on the full side and then helped it back towards the broom. And it worked out brilliantly. That's more than we've seen anything curl in that spot.
Well, and that's kind of, we talk a little bit about the inexperience of Xenia Schwaller. To me, that's the experience of Eunjung Kim.
Absolutely.
Seeing that spot a bunch of times, getting burned by it herself a few ends earlier and making the adjustment quickly. I think that's the thing, too, sometimes is even if you know you have to make the adjustment, you feel like you need to see it a few more times before you truly believe it. To make that adjustment in the third end is really impressive.
I agree, and often you also sort of inch towards the adjustment. You're like, okay, a little bit softer, that you have to, like, I almost would rather miss one the other way, because it's easier to correct an overcorrection than it is to inch towards what you need to do.
So first rock here for Xenia Schwaller, trying to make the roll behind the corner guard and get something going for two here. That's very nice. Almost fully buried for Xenia Schwaller. Great throw. And yeah, I think they just can't dig that on this turn. I think any other turn on this ice, you'd probably try a dig here, but
I'm surprised they aren't trying it. If you don't have to move it very far. You only have to tap it a couple of inches sideways. She could play the same weight she just played and just kiss it and roll towards the center line. Even if you don't move it far enough, you get your single point. But they're not going to take it on.
Maybe she's just feeling like even if she gets it in that vicinity because of this turn, it's a tough shot for Xenia.
Yeah, you're just trying to sit too, but I get it. But the problem is now you're going to try to bury in the straight spot to not give Xenia a shot for two. So that's not easy either. But great roll there nonetheless by Xenia Schwaller.
Yeah, great shot. We'll see if Eunjung Kim can match it. Final stone for her here in the third. Need this one to sit down a little bit. Line's pretty good, but it's got to sit. It's got to sit.
Oh, and it does.
Yeah, really good shot.
It did hit that hill a little bit, though. It looked like it didn't get by the red by that much, and it's mostly open.
Yeah, well managed again by Team Kim, and this is that tricky spot. We'll see if Xenia Schwaller can manage it.
So viel bewegen. 14.
14초?
Gibt so ein, ja, wir müssen etwas so viel bewegen.
So very tricky shot here. Xenia Schwaller on the straight turn. Can't play a ton of weight at this. Needs just a short little tap back for 2. Final stone.
Looked like a good throw.
Yeah, she does have the sweepers to make it. This is really curling, though. Riekiger trying to hold this. Riekiger trying to hold this. Trying to hold this. Do you get by? Oh, no. Just caught in between. You chunk a little bit more of that red. You roll in for 1, but just feathers it by the yellow. Great try from Xenia Schwaller. Good sweep from Selena Riekiger, but it's yet another small cut from Eunjung Kim. They lead 3-0.
Rio Mare. Great taste needs little. Prime quality tuna and selected olive oil. Rio Mare, the real taste of Italy.
여섯 잘 만들어야 돼. 마주. 아니면 5. 빨리 결정해. 15초 아니야 초야. 5 바이트만. 5 경해. 바이트만. 바이트만. 응. 15초. 그렇지.
So Xenia Schwaller's had opportunities every end, has not yet been able to capitalize. Eunjung Kim leads 3-0 here on Korea Day at the AMJ Players Championship. So are we starting to get to that point here, Chelsea, where Xenia's got to sell out for the 2, or is it close enough that you don't have to go too crazy yet?
Well, you need to score, but you have to go pretty hard for 2. I don't know if it's a full sellout situation just yet, but it's close.
Yeah, we know that they can definitely get rocks in play and get aggressive if they need to. We'll see if they do it here.
That'll help them. There's a little pocket there that Team Kim just created.
Gölet schon recht früh. Okay, Gölet mega viel. Von Linie kannst du nichts machen, Gölet genug. Ja, er ist 3. Ja, wenn er flach hocken.
This needs to stop.
Gut so.
And it will for Selena Riekiger. So 2 corners up here for Xenia Schwaller.
I would like those closer to even so that there's no double peel, but did stop out of the house at least, so nothing to do about it right now for Team Kim. Gonna look for the center guard, I would imagine.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if Eunjung gestured maybe in the top 12.
Yeah, I think you want it really tight if not biting, because they're not, if those 2 rocks were stacked the way they wanted them, then you could throw an actual guard, but because they're not, I don't think you want this to be very long. Top 12 would be fine.
맞아. 아, 돈다 맞아.
Taking a look at the other games here at the Mattamy Athletic Center on Thursday night in our all-Korean battle. It's Sungyoon Ha leading AMJ Gim 4-3. Right beside them, tightly knit battle here. Carrie Anerson, Rachel Homan trading ones. Homan leading that one 2-1. Anerson has the hammer in 4. And in the Retornaz Epping game, battle of two teams going in opposite directions. Retornaz at 0-3, Epping at 3-0. John Epping leading that one 2-0. Retornaz has the hammer in 4. All games available on the Home Team Network. The Epping Retornaz game has commentary from Tyler George and Brent Lang, who just popped in to prevent Tyler from going insane.
Guard over curled there for Team Kim, and so it's basically another corner. There's lots of opportunity here for Team Schwaller.
Yeah, that one's right on the beak, didn't get any roll, so that's a little unfortunate for Team Schwaller. I think the unfortunate part for them too, Chelsea, for Team Kim with where that guard ended up is you can't really peel anything now either. You kind of have to bring the play into the house. That's pretty good from Choi Kim.
Yeah, I would have liked to roll that a little further even, but at least leaves play in the center here, and it's a couple rocks that Team Schwaller is going to have to deal with.
I think Xenia was maybe thinking about ignoring those rocks in the middle, trying to draw around, but it's a little sketchy.
Yeah, I don't think it's sell the farm that much time yet. I think.
No, me neither.
You want to move those around a bit. You don't necessarily have to kill either one of them, but at least move one of them behind the tee line.
Yeah, it's a tough scenario because you want to score, but if you give up a steal here, you're getting close to game over.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're down 4 after 4 ends to a team as good as Unjung Kim, number 5 in the world, that's not great either. So you're kind of caught in between. You don't want to sell the farm necessarily, but you do need to score here.
Yeah, you have to score for sure, and you're just trying to make it 2 instead of 1 in a perfect world, but I think you need to make a play on these. I don't mind the nose, which I think is what they're talking about now, and I don't mind hitting it and rolling behind the corner guard either. Leave your second point buried over there and then deal with the middle after that. But either way, I think you need to move those rocks on the center line around a bit.
So just looking for the nose here is Fabienne Reeder. And she will find it. Very nice.
Really good. Leaves that angle set up so well that if Team Kim was to play some kind of hit, you're probably losing all 3 rocks. It's hard to lose the red without losing both of your own as well.
하는 거 있고 아니면 탭해서 위로 올리는 거. 그러면 그냥.
Ja, weil sonst wird es, wenn da außen ein bisschen kurz bist oder viel lang, dann... Ja, Blick ist auch zu.
Peel! Peel!
It's like they're just trying to smack everything here.
Yeah, I think so.
Don't know if I mean, I don't know what else you do, but I don't know if I love that necessarily. Gives Xenia a chance to draw around these corners if you do that.
Yeah, I'd be a little tempted, honestly, to throw a longer guard.
Yeah. I know you never love guarding a rock in the 8-foot and when you're up 3, but
yeah,
I agree with you. I don't.
It's just a tough one. You blow this, blow this all up is fine, but then she just goes around it.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's a disaster.
Yeah, that's worst case.
But there's a really good chance you're going to do that. So again, I don't think the call made a lot of sense.
Yeah, I agree. Rare misstep there from Unjung Kim on the strategy side of things, and now this is really opening up for Xenia Schwaller. You'd actually think this is a potential 3.
It's set up to be a 3 right now. They're going to need a couple of beauties here in the last 3 from Team Kim to have it be less than 3.
So all of a sudden, lying one is Team Schwaller buried behind staggered corners, and Selena Goffner trying to draw around the other corner here. Riekiger trying to get this one to curl. Trying to get it to slow down, too. I mean, it's not horrible.
No, it's probably chaseable, but you run the risk of, so if you make this, you're not rolling under. You don't want to roll under. You're rolling towards the center line, and then if they might ignore it and draw another one around, I would be tempted. You have to make this. This is scary, but I would be tempted to throw this short run back.
Yeah, it looks like that's what they're eyeing up here.
So I have a feeling if you make that chase, they're going to ignore it anyway and go around this guard. So then you're going to have to make the run back on your next one. You may as well make it now and put the pressure back onto Team Schwaller to set up their two.
Seems like a case where the skip knows what the right strategy call is, but the thrower doesn't really want to throw it.
Well, and it's hard to blame her for not wanting to throw it, but at some point somebody's going to have to make it. So it's one of those ones. I know I've had that conversation before where my third comes down and says, well, what about this? I hit the open one, and I'm like, okay, I get it, but then mine might be a run double. Like, we just have to make the run back now. I know it's scary to throw, but we have to make it.
Yeah, so they are going to ignore the run back. Kyung-Ae Kim going to play the chase here. Absolutely have to get by the guard here.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. Good sweep from Sunyoung Kim there. And they will steer it into lie one. We're not going to see Schwaller ignore it, it doesn't look like.
Interesting.
What's the reason for ignoring it, Chelsea? Just that it gives you more opportunities to score three?
Yeah, your play for three is to ignore it. This is a play for two. Which is fine, and that may be what they're trying to do. You don't need three right now, but to me, when you have the opportunity, I would be tempted to try, given how the game's gone so far.
Selena Riekiger really leaning on that one, brings it all the way over. We were talking about Pablo Lechat-Couchepin's unorthodox sweeping stroke. Selena Riekiger might be the one who gets the closest to it.
Yes, yeah, she's not, her knees aren't as low as Pablo's, but it's very similar. And just like very similarly effective as well.
Yeah, well, similarly tall, right?
Yeah, she watching that walk, I didn't think they were ever getting to, like I thought they were in danger to stick, and they got to nose because she carved it so effectively.
Yeah, no, she's very, very good. That's, like I said, I've watched a ton of Schwaller games this year. That's probably the most impressive aspect of this team to me, other than, just the fact that they're such great shot makers at age 22, but the sweeping from both Selenas is exceptional. I'd have them in the top 5 of sweepers on the women's side of the game, sweeping pairs. Sunyoung Kim trying to hold this. You got to get by the guard again. They do. Now can you even get a little bit rolled buried? Very nice. But that red one sticks around, although you do have the yellow one out counting it. That could have got real dangerous for Team Kim.
Yeah, we're seeing this spot not be quite as straight as the in-turn going up the other way, or it might be that they're not quite getting all the way out to the spot where it starts to straighten out. It sort of looked like around the middle of the 8-foot with that in-turn going away, it just started to almost fall back, and these probably aren't quite getting there, but it may be that the sheet is shaped a little differently at this end than at the far end.
So this will be the hardest to chase so far, as that is a good look there, almost completely buried. Xenia would maybe be able to see about 10% of it from the hack.
Sorry? Können weniger wie ein Viertel. Okay. Das ist etwas anderes.
Drauflegen oder der Run?
Seems like Xenia doesn't love the look of it from the hack, Chelsea, maybe even more buried than she thought.
Yeah, I don't blame her. You could also, I don't mind the freeze right now because you could still bring that other one into play on your next one if you get any kind of mistake.
Ja, gut, so kann sie einfach nachher zweimal
I kind of like it too because I think if you do try to throw the chase and you don't make it, you're getting forced.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, if you make a good freeze, then likely it ends up being a deuce worst case and maybe a 3 if they leave you something. So I think this is the smarter call just because we have seen those wings, the chase behind the wing be so tricky.
Ja, wir können ja ein bisschen da sein. Länge? 14. Okay.
So took her time in the hack, has changed her call to the freeze here. Xenia Schwaller, first stone. Fourth end, down 3, needs to try and get herself on the front foot here. Goffner and Riekiger are trying to drag this one. Got to get by that corner guard. They are. Now, do you have enough weight? You got to stay on the corner of this one, too, and unfortunately just does not have the weight. And Kim lies one.
차라리 내려오는 게 좋긴 한데.
8 어때요? 뒷? 뒷 7. 9. 오케이.
일단 라인 숨는 걸로. 뒤로 와도 돼, 일단.
We did see this wing be quite straight when they tried to go around the corner guard earlier, so you need to get this one buried. This isn't a gimme either. Looks like a lot of ice again.
그냥 웨이트는
You don't have to be buried as long as you're even or deeper than the shot stone right now, but if you're ever short of it and not buried, you might leave a double for 3.
웨이트 보고 못 쓰는데 위에 갈 것 같으면 5만 다 들어가게 그냥 올려야 돼. 그래야 더블이 안 나와. 그리고 센다 싶으면 ITD로 그냥 하면은 더블은 안 나오거든.
So final stone for Eunjung Kim, needs to lie 2. Drawing to the other side of her shot stone.
웨이트 봐, 라인 진짜 많아. 아니야, 기다려. 라인 진짜 많아. 웨이트부터. 컬러 진짜 와야 돼.
Just can't set up a double here. You have to be shot.
웨이트 먼저. 그냥 가.
They really got to go on this. Really got to go. Sun Young Kim, Cho E Kim trying to drag it. Can you get it there for second shot? Ooh, just short. Well, I don't know what Xenia really has for 2 here other than a crazy run back.
Sorry?
Yeah,
it's there.
It's there.
계속 스위치했으면 안 들어갔을 것 같아.
The redirect for 3. That's what they're looking at.
Oof.
Ja, das langt weniger als
I don't think that's there.
Ja.
It would be if the guard wasn't in the way.
Yes, for sure.
Well, but I mean, you can see more. You need to hit that so thin that you actually can see more than you need, probably. But that's just a straight spot.
So scary, yeah.
Nur wenn
Yeah, you could also play the angle in off where you run the red back onto the yellow and the shooter rolls into the 8-foot. But Xenia thinking she wants all 3 points back here.
nicht so schnell spielen, irgendwie nur mit einem 11 oder so.
Well, I'm not
I mean,
sure.
the degree of difficulty is probably the same.
Exactly. So then throw the one with a better reward. That's what I was just going to say. I think they're equally hard. And the good thing is, I mean, I think a steal of 1 is probably game over, but I don't think there's much risk of giving up more than 1 here. You're probably either getting 3 or only a steal of 1, where if you try the other one, you're bringing in a steal of 2 potentially because you're hitting it onto your own stone.
I think the only risk of giving up more than 1 here would be if you ever just feathered it.
Yeah, hit a little too thin.
Just tick it in for second shot, but yeah, the likelihood of that is so low.
Ich müsste schnell vom Heck anschauen. Das würde ich mit einem 10 spielen. So.
She's going to try it. This would be one of the shots of the week. No question if she makes it. Again, you do have the sweepers. That helps. That makes these shots a little easier, but...
I actually think if you get really tight to the guard, you could hit this too thick. So the guard almost frames it for you. It can make the line call a little bit easier on a shot like this.
Ja. Es macht ja recht viel, vielleicht eher so. Ja. Ja, genau.
일단 다이렉트로 보는 건가?
So here we go. Final stone. Xenia Schwaller. Potentially the game on the line. Has a chance to get all 3 points back. Final stone. Ooh, that's quite a bit of weight here.
She set that too.
Goffner trying to bring this over.
Close.
Riekiger on it now. This is really close. Does she have it? Oh, great shot. Doesn't quite have it for 3, but makes it for 2. Very well managed stone there by Team Schwaller to get 2 back. Kim will take the hammer and a 1-point lead into the 4th end. We're going to take a 3-minute break. Don't go anywhere.
Let me say what's best for me, to feel at ease, to feel happy. Lovely weather with the breeze, the simplest things. Sad love.
Rio Mare. Great taste needs little. Prime quality tuna and selected olive oil. Rio Mare, the real taste of Italy.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mike's. Eat locally, enjoy casual.
Annyeong, curling fans. Welcome back to Korea Day here at the Grand Slam of Curling. It is the AMJ Players Championship, continuing coverage here on the Home Team Network. It's Draw 10 action between Team Xenia Schwaller and Team Eunjung Kim. Kim leads 3-2 with the hammer here in the 5th end. John Cullen alongside Chelsea Carey up here in the booth at the Mattamy Athletic Center. And Chelsea, we said that Xenia Schwaller might need a little bit of magic to get herself back in this one, and she certainly found it very close to shot of the week territory if she had stuck that one for 3, but still a great shot for 2 in the 4th.
Yeah, really, really high degree of difficulty on that shot and even harder to stick it. So absolute pistol just to get the 2. And I think it was the right call. I didn't really see an option that was any easier, and the reward on that one was higher. So really nice throw there by Xenia, very well swept. And they will get their 2, and we've got a game.
Yes, we've got a game, which we love to see. We talked about it, that maybe wouldn't have been game over at 4-0, but certainly would have been a long climb back for the Swiss. That said, Eunjung Kim definitely still in the driver's seat here, up 1 and with hammer. It's the first time we've seen them with the hammer since the first end. We'll see what they do here. Nice draw around the center guard for Sunyoung Kim. Just a freeze here called for Selina Riekiger. Xenia Schwaller yet to come back from the 4th end break. So Fabian Rieder in control of the house, but she's going to have to throw. So Goffner, I guess, is going to have to take charge here. Unfortunately for Riekiger, that one bounces off the yellow stone. So it's an open hit to lie 2 here for Sunyoung Kim. Again, to celebrate Korea Day here, we've got a bunch of Korean fans in the building here tonight at the Mattamy Athletic Center. Also have the Ha and Gim game on the Grand Slam of Curling YouTube channel. And it is being delivered with Korean commentary thanks to Min Lee, who works as a translator for Korea Curling, also works as a Korean broadcaster for Curling One Spoon, which is one of the big curling networks over in Korea. So grateful to have him there. If you're a Korean fan, you want to listen to a little bit of the game in your own language, free on the Grand Slam of Curling YouTube tonight. And while you're there, you can check out the feature I did with Eunjung Kim and Anna Hasselborg this week. Headed to Seoul Gamjatong for a Korean lunch. Great hang, nice shot there by Fabian Rieder. That's up now on the GSOC YouTube.
Sexy for it. Sexy for it. Ik zo Selina. Selina. Du spielst du so. Ja, het is snel eraan.
I like the way they say Selena. Sounds a lot better than the way we say it. It's a lot more graceful. Selena, Selena. We're just up here like Selena.
I know. It's
the Canadian accent leaves a lot to be desired, I think.
By comparison, yeah. I was at the World Men's last week, and I did a bunch of commentary games, and of course there's a lot of, European and Asian names and things, and I did a couple games with Sander Rolveg, and the way he pronounced the names, I was just like, why can't it sound that cool when I say it?
Yeah, exactly. So nice run double for Choi Kim. Now it's just the single Yellowstone in play. We are going to see Team Schwaller draw around it. Oh, we got the Banana Boys in attendance here tonight. I didn't realize they were here, but they made their initial appearance at the WFG Masters. A bunch of guys wearing banana costumes who get very excited about peels.
Very excited about peels, yeah. I noticed them here earlier today, and I was waiting for it, but that's the first time they've gotten excited.
Yeah, they were quite a hit in the crowd at the WFG Masters, although there was some debate in the broadcast booth in the final. Anna Hasselborg and Rachel Homan, they refused to cheer peel when Anna Hasselborg made a peel. I understand being loyal to Rachel Homan, but I feel like if you're wearing a banana costume, the peel comes first.
Yes, that does seem like a reasonable expectation.
And the crowd didn't like it. They were booing them when they wouldn't give the peel to Anna Hasselborg. So we'll see if they've they've had a couple months off since the WFG Masters in Guelph. Maybe they've gone into the tank, had a bit of a thought about what it is they represent, what they're about, and maybe they'll recognize that the peel comes above all here at the AMJ Players Championship.
아니야. 그냥 올리자. 4초 4.
That's nice there from Choi Kim. Draws in front of that red and might get a little action around this sort of hybrid corner guard here, Chelsea.
Yeah, it looks like it. It's And this is where we saw the wider corner be tricky, where it almost looked like it was climbing a hill, but I think this is in a place where you actually can get some finish kind of the whole way. Still not a crazy amount, but it's a little bit more usable than if it was a couple feet wider, more on the red piece of the AMJ symbol versus on the A.
Ja, kom. Mooie linie.
And a great freeze there from Selena Goffner. We got action, baby.
Yeah, we do.
별로? 이거 런?
Good.
피?
Gut so. Er bounced noch. Ja.
Now we're going to see the run here out of Kyung-A Kim.
Whoa.
Korean team trying to keep control here with the hammer. Yeah, that's not bad. Does leave Schwaller shot.
Unlocks the freeze though, so now at least you could remove that red better than it was. If it curled any more, it would have been perfect, but just hit it a little bit too much on the high side and ran that yellow across the face instead of straight back.
Ja, bist einfach nicht second. Ja, ist einfach, wenn du da bist, kann sie da kommen. Dann liegt sie Shot. Ja, aber jetzt ja von einen. Ja, aber nachher wird es schwierig für mich. Was haben wir denn? Ja, bin mir nicht sicher, wo der beste Spot ist. Timeout.
Use the timeout here.
So Xenia Schwaller taking their first time out, trying to decide what to do here. I believe Claudio Pescia is on the bench for them tonight. So he's going to come out and have a chat. Long-time veteran skip.
Ja. Wir müssen mir nachher kommen. Ja, aber dann wird es langsam ein bisschen gefährlich.
And now the head of Swiss curling.
Saw him last week in Moose Jaw.
Ja, es kann aber auch sein, dass wenn wir da kommen, dass sie
So we'll listen in here.
백티 정도 될 것 같으면 잘 밀려오는 것 같은데. 그래서 내가 아까 인콜도 거의 1인데 거의 진짜 억지로 기다려서 A 푸시잖아. 이쪽만 쳐 그런가? 아, 열받네. 근데 그거 차라리 없는 게 상대는 할까 더 없긴 했었는데. 그것도 희한한 거 해가지고 되긴 했지만 결국에는 이 앞에 거 때려도 세우려면은 진짜 두껍게 맞아야 되는데 약간 그래서 그 코너를 그냥 코너 우리 거 위치잖아. 거기에 그냥 가드하고 다 보이진 않았나? 우리 거?
Nein.
우리 거 아무튼 못 치는 거야.
Nein. Nicht im Fremden.
들어가고 근데 내게 계속 내가
잘 들어오면은
다섯으로 들어가면 우리가 괜찮고 위에 여섯 아니면 백티까지 내려서 더블 어깨 만들어야
Du hast 15-3 vorher
둘다가 근데
Wahrscheinlich recht gleich. Sie hat mega durchgepusht.
그거 거기서 하는 게 진짜 완전 그거 아니야 근데.
So what do you like here, Chels?
Ja, einfach, wenn sie bewegt, das Ringen.
I think you probably have to, again, this is a bit of a scoreboard situation. You probably have to draw around this and try to kind of get to a Christmas tree type situation. Tuck just a piece of your red around. I don't even think you need to sit two, really. It would be great if you did, but if you're a little bit short, that's okay. Just as long as you bury a piece of this rock around that yellow corner guard and sort of protect or at least set up the jam if Team Kim was to play a chase on shot stone right now.
So, Linie gut. Nur schon. Okay, well done. Wow. Whoa. Einfach hocken lassen. Okay.
So they do get the Christmas tree maybe a little shorter than they would have liked it.
12?
And this is a situation where if Kim makes this hit and roll, it starts to get a little bit scary for Team Schwaller.
Yeah, I would suggest more than a little bit, potentially.
Yeah, going to start to look like a lemon orchard in the house.
That one lonely strawberry gets to be a scary situation.
No doubt.
아니야, 가지 마. 1초
Would love for that to stick, and indeed it does. So nice shot there from Kyung-Hae Kim. And Team Schwaller is lying shot, but that's all they're lying. Kim lying 2, 3, 4 here.
Ja. Siehst du? Ich finde hier den Doppel recht gut, weil wenn sie das hier spielt, wir können die Linie mit dem Freeze.
Da muss ich dranlegen.
Ja, genau.
Ja. Doppel verlieren wir einfach den Shoot.
Ja, genau. Das andere ist halt dezimiert. Ja, gut.
Wenn, dann würde ich eher auf D spielen. Finde ich einfach wie...
Auch gut, ja.
Wie nur auf D.
Dezimiert eher der Doppel, oder?
Was?
Ja gut, der Champ.
Nein, der Champ
ja.
immer. Und der auch.
Ja. Das? Ja.
So? Ja. Ich glaube, so haben wir ein bisschen mehr Spaß, dass er noch am Haus bleibt.
10,5?
Ja,
Ja.
da macht's mehr.
Ja.
10,5. Das Mühe gegen rollen.
So what's the call here? Just trying to do the same thing again?
No, they're going to hit and roll on this wide one, the widest yellow there, and try to just roll in for third shot and into a place that Team Kim can't play off it towards that one on the center line. I think you have to do this now. I think you can't afford to throw the draw again. You might bring in a 4 or 5, and if you do this, you know that they're going to ignore it and they're going to go play a little hit and roll underneath that corner, but you will have one chance to freeze because it'll be on the tee line. And even if you don't make the freeze perfect, maybe you get a force out of it. Hopefully, worst case, it's a 2. I don't think you can afford to leave these stones on the side here anymore.
Whoa! Whoa!
So big shot here for Xenia Schwaller. Have to make sure this shot stone sticks around.
Audible here, try to make the double.
Uh-oh. Oh, boy.
Oh, dear.
That is under the dictionary. You can find a picture of that shot. Worst case scenario.
Yeah.
That's how the dictionary works. They have 3-word phrases in it now.
Yes, and photos.
And photos. Videos, actually. It's a video dictionary with worst case scenario in it. Yeah, that was just really unfortunate for Xenia. Both those yellow rocks stick on the rings, and the shooter goes. So this is a shot to lie 4 for Eunjung Kim. And there's not really a great situation for Xenia to prevent a big score. If Eunjung gets just a little roll, you're freezing for your life.
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. If this shot is made, she's gonna have to freeze for her life, which is awful scary. But she won't have a choice.
Big shot here, Eunjung Kim. Don't want to roll too far and give Xenia a pocket. Want to just stick right there. Pretty good. Rolled maybe a hair further than they would have liked. But here we go. Freeze for your lifetime.
근데 아까 저쪽과 경희 거는 약간 잉크를 조금 더 안에 있으니까 11초 잡으니까 이쪽으로 가는 거야.
Any miss here and you are giving up $1 million.
True story.
As our partner in crime, Brent Lang, would say, this is a very expensive freeze.
Yes, that's a good way to say it.
Da haben wir jetzt oft gespielt, da läuft es schön. 15. Ja.
Last rock for Xenia Schwaller, 5th end. Kim lying 4 has to make a dead perfect freeze. Riekiger and Goffner on it right away. Cannot be light at all here.
15-2.
Ooh, that's going to be close. Oh, does it have the line? Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
Just
Slept it a little bit.
Yeah, just needed to let it curl a little bit more. Weight was actually perfect from Xenia Schwaller, but cannot find the line, and now Eunjung Kim has a shot for 5. Not only that, Chelsea, but it's the same shot she just threw. It's going to feel very comfortable with this.
Yeah, very, very similar.
아까처럼 맞으면은 되긴 한데 아니면 정타
Anywhere low and you're good.
맞고 뒤로 가는 거.
Yeah, really too bad. Xenia had perfect weight, but bounces off, and now Eunjung Kim. Opportunity to put this game out of reach. Hit for 5.
Needs to curl a bit.
Choi trying to bring this over. And just like that, 5 go on the board. What a shot by Eunjung Kim. Made Xenia pay for all of those mistakes, and I wondered if we'd see handshakes, but it looks like we are going to play a 6th, so we'll be back after this.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable. And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And is the choice of champions.
Der Nase. Und der letzte ist halt auch schade.
Well, not much that Chelsea and I can say that the scoreboard doesn't say for you. 5 on the board for Eunjung Kim in the 5th end. They now lead Xenia Schwaller 8-2. And really, it was just a case for Xenia Schwaller. Chelsea, you know, usually when you give up a 5, it's because you were playing overly aggressive, or, you know, maybe you weren't, you know, you're going all out. And Xenia wasn't really. It was just that one miss on her first one where she got rid of neither of those yellow stones that really set it all up. It wasn't some sort of tragic failure of strategy. They just didn't execute, and Eunjung Kim made them pay.
Yeah, and they were playing a little bit more aggressive. They had to choose to ignore some yellow rocks. The scoreboard dictates that they had to, but I didn't disagree with any of the calls. It was an issue of execution. A little short on on Selena's last one around the corner guard. If you make that freeze, then the end goes differently. And then, yeah, Xenia's not only rolling out, but just feather rubbing both of those yellows and not killing either one of them. And then just a little miss sweep on Xenia's last, where the weight would have been close if they just managed it a little bit differently and left the shot for 5, and Eunjung Kim makes no mistake.
So nice little corner tick there from Sunyoung Kim, pushes that Xenia Schwaller stone into the house. And if you weren't going to shake after 5, maybe you just shake now.
I think I would have shaken after 5.
Well, so would me too.
I definitely would now.
I'd have shook before Eunjung threw it.
Honestly, yeah.
Start the car.
Yeah.
Do we have the remote start? Let's dig in your bag.
Fire it up.
Get the remote starter going. Yeah, really now it's an uphill climb. It's such a good shot from Sunyoung Kim.
Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Whoa, whoa. Xenia stayed good. 3, 2, 1.
Center guard goes up, but I think that's off the center line. If they so desired to tick it, they could. They can also peel their own. Looks like they're lining that up instead. Probably an easier shot. At least you get the peel. And if you ever get rid of their red in the house, it's really good.
Yeah, I think there's some merit to this. The tick's a hard shot, and it's the only guard, so you're going to have a chance to peel it as they go here. And with this, just with a 6-point lead, you don't have to take on shots that are difficult. Just play the simple ones, but they need to hit this.
Oof.
7초 2.
Rare misstep for Choi Kim. Drives that one right on by. Sad part is for Schwaller, it's still not an unbelievable setup for them.
It's true.
Usually when you get a complete flash, you think, oh boy, here we go, but...
I mean, I think when you're down 6, I don't know how good a setup can be, but...
True. I guess a setup for 3 is really what you're hoping for, and not sure they have that as of yet.
Ja, kanskje Immerkull. Kanskje Immerkull. 나빗, 나플리. 나빗. Good. 저도 너무 뻗네.
이거 여는 거 보고 여는지. 센터 거 차라리 반 보여? 이거? 반 보여, 반. 60. 타임. 이것도 근데 2개는 만들 수 있긴 해. 여는 게 나는 더 좋긴 한데. 이렇게 보면 안 되나?
I always used to love this when I was playing. Up 6 and you're losing by 6 and your opponent takes a timeout. You go, okay, come on, really?
Yeah. Just go to the hack and throw anything.
Yeah, throw anything. Remove a stone. If you remove a stone, it's probably good.
Yeah, it probably is. But at the same time, you're the team that chose to play down 6. So how mad can you really be?
That's also a great point. Very well made. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't theorize as to what I would do in this situation because I wouldn't be in this situation.
No, you'd be,
I would be in the front seat of the car right now, and we would be halfway to a fast food meal because I would have to punish myself for how poorly this went. Did you ever have like a team tradition when you had a bad game? Like we would call it punishment, where you'd have to go to, unless you had to play like right after, but if it was like a night game like this, you'd go to a fast food restaurant and just like order something absurd, like something you would never normally order to punish yourself and just kind of a cleansing action. Did your team ever have a tradition like that?
No, I don't recall anything like that. I think usually after a game like this, we would all be thinking that we need a drink.
Yeah,
so
fair. Maybe it's because I don't drink. Maybe that's my problem.
I feel like a drink could also be a reward, but in this case, you sort of cry into your beer and you all sit there silently and say nothing. And the fact that you're still hanging out with each other at that point when all you want to do is be like pretend it never happened.
Yeah.
It's sort of the punishment part.
Yeah, true. Good point. So they were trying for the peel and maybe get rid of that red stone, weren't able to do so. And so this is another draw around the corner here for Fabian Rieder.
Needs to curl a mile.
Yeah, we've seen Fabian a few times tonight, just a little wide, a little positive on that release, and with the way this ice has been responding, it's just not coming back for you.
Certainly not to the wing.
No. This is definitely chaseable here. Get rid of at least one red.
Yeah, I think you probably want to try to stick your shooter as well, so that you're... Yeah, like that. She's got it figured out.
You got it. Hey, you guys got it.
my two-way mic worked there.
Yeah, exactly. What am I doing here? You guys handle it. So the chase is on for Kyung-Hae Kim. Just got to get rid of one of these reds, given the scoreboard situation here for the Koreans. And how about that? Sure. Not only do that, but roll right onto the top of the lid. Lie 2. This is Starting to get real painful if you're Xenia Schwaller here.
Yeah, and the way they spun that too, the rock that is towards that corner guard is not behind it. So no matter how well you make this, there's still going to be a chase.
Yeah. Yeah, both the legs are broken and the tourniquets just fell off here. It's a long walk out of the forest.
Achtung, 10, 4, 8, Linie. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Good. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Good, good.
So again, a good shot for Selena Goffner, but you're lying 3-4-5 here. Still a lot of work to do to make some of these red rubies count.
Yeah, they could play the same shot they just played and try to roll into the middle again. You could also hit that red if you wanted to near the center line on the other side, but I think then you're gonna, I don't know that I love that just yet. I think it's a little too early. Probably one shot too early for that.
Ja, wenn halt ein bisschen näher ziehst, ist dann halt der
I think probably you just chase one of these reds here, Chelsea. Don't have to go too crazy.
No, the exact same shot you just played. Just hit this top one and roll towards the center line somewhere.
Yeah.
And you'd be pretty happy. That back one stays reasonably open, and if you keep your shooter somewhere in the middle here, they're going to have to play some kind of a hit. They can't keep leaving all these yellows around on the center line.
So another chase here for Kyung-Hae Kim. Cho-Hee Kim trying to bring this one over. This has to curl.
They gotta go. It's gonna touch it sideways. Is it gonna kill it?
Uh-oh. Well, that was a little break here for Xenia Schwaller. Those yellows were set up so good in the middle.
Worked out okay though, because I don't think there's any triple anywhere. And again, you've opened up that other red stone, so I think they got away with it a little bit.
Ja.
Yeah, they are still lying 3 here.
mal den Doppel, dann nehmen wir mal 4 im Haus.
그렇기는 한데 살짝 근데 많이 나는데 아이스 너무
Put it this way, it's going to be hard to make that biter count.
Yes,
so
for
I
sure.
think it's not quite as good as moving it out of the house, but it's almost as good just because of where they all landed.
So bringt ja auch nichts, oder? Nur das? Das hier? Ja, das stimmt.
That cheer you heard was a great double made by John Epping against Joel Retornaz for 3. So John Epping leading that one now 5-1. Again, a win for Epping here would get him to 4-0 and would clinch a playoff spot here at the Players' Championship. And we talked about it earlier, Chelsea, but sort of tracking the kind of one interesting points chase things that's happening here at the Players. The points cutoff for the Brier wildcard spots is now, and we're actually going to have a final. So Joel Retornaz determining that a 4-point lead was too much to surmount. Hint, hint.
Yeah, we need him to talk to these guys.
Yeah. But that will be a final. So John Epping moves to 4-0 and will be through to the Players' Championship playoffs. And yes, if Brad Gushue misses the playoffs, which he is likely to do at 1-3, if John Epping were to win the Players' Championship, he would get that third and final Brier wildcard spot. So a lot of interested fans in Newfoundland and Labrador paying attention to that. And I would dare say a few curling teams in Northern Ontario will be paying attention to that result very closely. They've had to deal with the domination of Brad Jacobs and then the Horgan brothers for years and years. And then John Epping says, oh, by the way, I'm going to come up here now. I'm sure the Sandy McEwens and the Dylan Johnsons of the world will be very excited if John could manage to snag that Brier wildcard spot.
Trevor Bonneau, they went on a pretty deep run at the Brier when they
Trevor
were
Bonneau too, of course. Yes, absolutely. So Team Kim again with another discussion here as we've got 3 reds in the rings. It's not exactly the ideal scenario you'd like to be in if you're up 8-2.
No, but they are sitting 2 still.
일단 얘가 이거보다 못 이기긴 한데. 네, 근데 어차피 3대도 더블 떠야 돼서. 인턴으로 인턴 약간 띄워줘.
Ja, noch
10.
mit 2 da, gell? Das fällt so.
잡아봐 일단. 잡아봐. 거기. 웨이트는 10.
Sie müssen auf Top legen.
아까 초초는 저기 잡고 있던 룰 됐거든. 10.
I didn't have it on my bingo card that our colleagues on the next sheet
Yes.
that in a 2-1 game would
We're
be
gonna
done
be
their
done- I
broadcast
know.
before we were, but
No kidding.
here we
we
are.
don't like it. We don't like it, Tyler. That's what we're saying. Yeah, bad luck. So first stone here for Eunjung Kim in the 6th end. Looking for a hit and roll. This is really curling, though. I think that'll work. I don't think there's a triple there.
No, but there's 2 shots left.
Yeah, it's a lot of red rubies stacking up here, similar to what happened last end for Kim.
Aber sie kann natürlich verteilen.
And all of a sudden, they were able to make a lot of reds count. And we're going to see another timeout here for Schwaller, and why not? Normally, you wouldn't take your second of 2 timeouts in the 6th end, but you probably figure if you don't get 3 points here, you're quitting. So Claudio Pescia again once again out to talk. Sorry, Chelsea.
No, that's okay. At this point, you need to use it, yeah, because you're either in the game or you're losing the game right now. So worth it to use that timeout.
4번. 1, 2, 4번. Was ist, wenn wir jetzt den Doppel spielen?
Im Moment ist halt der wie noch im Weg für sie, um da etwas zu
드로우에서 1, 2, 3번? 어디로 드로우해요 그러면?
Nase.
Das ist einfach da hinten noch. 사이드로?
Ja.
Ja.
Ist gut? Okay. Ja. Das 9. Ja. Sonst kannst du auch immer noch auf den Dings ziehen.
Ja, ist gut.
Mit einem 9.
근데 2개밖에 없는 상황에서도 가드치기에는 조금 만약에 아이스가 지금 좀 애매해서 라인이 완벽하지 않으면 더블까지 나오면 조금 애매할 것 같긴 한데.
Ja.
So just trying to get rid of 2 here, Chelsea?
Yeah, I think you just make the double
사이드로 그냥 드로우해가지고.
on the top 2 and sit there, and you're going to leave a combo, but there's no real great combo that doesn't involve a potential jam for Team Kim. Don't want to hear curl early.
Yeah, Riekiger trying to bring this over. Goffner back on it now. Oh. Don't make a double on either yellow. Does move that 1 yellow into being 5th shot, though.
Wenn sie jetzt überrollt, ist alles mega auf dem Haufen. Ja, wenn sie jetzt überrollt.
So it's a little scary here for Team Kim, definitely.
Angezeigt, so in die Mitte.
Got those 4 red rocks hanging around here.
이거 다음 이거. 그다음 그거야. 그럼 1등 롤까지 나쁘지 않아. 네, 롤 가야 될 것 같아. 롤까지. 여기 11? 아니, 여기는 콜 돼서 10초. 10초. 그리고 여기 코너 가드 때문에 라인은 괜찮아. 10초. 어때? 롤. 아웃탑. 인턴은 조금 얘 때문에 난 별로일 것 같긴 한데.
Ja, Rockline ist noch 4 drauf.
봐봐, 여기. 조금 더 잡을까?
Ja.
인턴은 이쪽 많이 돌긴 하는데.
Da hat die einfach raus können noch. Ich glaube, er ist schlechter wie der. Ich bin mir nicht ganz sicher. Also, was sie gesagt hat. Also, wie vorne. Aber wie vorne ist er sicher schlechter.
10.
So Eunjung Kim, I think, trying to get rid of 2 here, Chelsea?
No, I think she's playing a hit and roll.
Oh, yes, you're right. I was going to say, that double would jam.
Always
That'd be terrible.
Not a good idea.
No, definitely. So here we go. Hit and roll to lie 2.
Needs to sit.
Yeah, can't over curl here. Oh, but if you roll it dead flat, I think that'll do it.
I think that's okay.
I think so. I mean, that is really flat. Triple might be there. House is dead, though. I don't. Yeah, it's tough.
I don't think you can get them
Kom
all.
recht goed. So,
I think you can touch them all and kill 2 of them, but I think this yellow on the right-hand side, as we look at it, I don't know that it's going to go out of the 8-foot. And I certainly don't think it's going to go out of the 12-foot.
또 많이 잡았나 싶다. 그래서. 근데 슬라이딩 자체가 너무 오버로 가는 슬라이딩.
But you have to try it.
그래서 너무 바깥에 있어서.
Also echt ziemlich nass einfach.
그랬는데 결국에는.
We've been talking the whole game about how hard Team Schwaller, including Xenia, can throw it, so I have to think she'll be close.
피가 좀 뻗는 거고.
So a chance to get 4 back here for Xenia Schwaller. Needs a run triple. Final stone. Goffner on it right out of the hand. Ooh, this is really curling. I don't think that's going to get much. No, it won't. So it will be a steal of 1 for Team Eunjung Kim, and that will be that. Good try from Xenia Schwaller. Anytime you have a shot for 4 when you're down 6, that's a good place to be in, but unable to convert. Team Kim will move to 3-0. Xenia Schwaller will fall to 0-4. That's it for us here tonight. We'll be back at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning local time with more coverage of the final day of the AMJ Players Championship. For everyone here at Home Team Network, for Chelsea Carey, I've been John Cullen. Thanks for tuning in. Good night.
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatoon in December, and the Players Championship from Steinbeck coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock!